Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ITTF Seamaster 2017 World Tour Hungarian Open, coming to you live from Budapest, Hungary. I'm your commentator, Adam Bobro, and we are getting into a match that I've been thinking about since I saw it on paper last night. It is the living legend, Vladimir Samsonov, right there from Belarus, playing against the giant slayer from China, SHANG. The umpires for this match from Serbia, umpire Zoran Panic. Assistant umpire from Croatia, Mladenka Česnik. So the reason this match is so exciting to me and should be to you at home, Samsonov right there, 40 years old, will be 41 in not too long, has already possibly performed point of 2017 in the very first day of the first tournament of the year against Quentin Robinot of France, after Robinot hits an around-the-net shot after some crazy lobs and counters. Comes back with the left hand to flat hit it, and Samsonov is right there like nothing ever happened to win the point. Samsonov with the touch, the skill. He's a legend for many reasons. Again, 40 years old, just took 4th place at the Olympic Games. He's a 6-time Olympian. He holds the record for the most World Tour titles with 26 titles. He's won the Richard Bergman Fair Play Trophy 3 times at the World Championships. He was world ranked number 1 in 1998, has been in the top 10. He spent 15 years in the top 10, and for over 20 years has been in the top 15. In 1996, after the Olympics, he became part of the top 10 in the world. And it wasn't until, I think, November of 2011 that he finally stepped out of the top 10 briefly and is right back there and has been wowing crowds around the world with his skills. With one side of the collar popped right now, still has his flair. Now, Samsonov typically does not have a coach in the corner. Just sits with his chair. Samsonov is the top seed in this tournament, currently world ranked number 8. Again, 40 years old. And on the other side of the table, right there, SHANG. You don't get to see him too much unless you watch the Chinese Super League. You might recall that in 2015, Ma Long, the Man of the Year 2 years in a row, ITTF's star player, only lost 1 match in 2015, and that was to this player right here, SHANG. It was the 2015 Japan Open. Now, you'd think after beating the most dominant player in the world, it would at least earn you a chance to play at another tournament. Not for SHANG. In 2016, didn't play another, I guess in 2015, didn't play another World Tour, and didn't play a single World Tour event in 2016. In the Chinese Super League, he's one of 3 players who's beaten Fan Zhendong, who has the best record of anybody in the Chinese Super League. So SHANG is able to beat the 2 best players on the planet right now. And he's going to have a chance to play a former world number 1 and a legend of the sport. SHANG is the number 1 player on the Chinese team in terms of English-speaking ability, as far as I know, probably followed by Yanan. 26 years old, SHANG is the 191st seed in this tournament. And obviously that is not based on skill, but simply the fact that he has no world ranking. His last world ranking was 56 in October of 2015. So it's been some time. The left-handed player very comfortable with fast pace of play. His highest world ranking was 48. That was in July of 2015, right after the Japan Open, where he beat Ma Long. Now, Samsonov, again, so many different credits. It's hard to fit them on screen, so just showing you a little bit about 2016. He was 39 years old after the Kuwait Open when the ITTF article came out saying, is Samsonov over the hill? Is his career done? And then comes back the next week, reads the article, and says, nah, I don't think so. I think I'm going to have to beat the most dominant European player in the game, Dmitry Ovtcharov, to take the Qatar Open title. So a legend in action right here. Who knows how long he'll be playing, but right now he's in outstanding form. If you didn't see the point against Quentin Robinot, make sure you check it out on the official ITTF Facebook page. That's International Table Tennis Federation on Facebook. Shot that's gone viral already, several 100,000 views in its first day. Now a little bit about how these players got here. Samsonov beating Robinot 4-1 in the first round, and Jakub Diaz, strong player from Poland, the 13th seed, 4-1 in the next round. SHANG beat Stefan Fagel of Austria, and after that, Zhou Yu of China. Serve drifts a little bit long, but still an uncomfortable ball for Sean Quinn. Change of pace is going to be to the advantage of Samsonov. Right idea, comes in for the forehand flip. Now Samsonov standing 6'2", 189 centimeters tall, one of the taller players in table tennis. Also has a very big middle to cover because of that. Little break off the top of the net in the apology. Samsonov is known as the Tai Chi master in China. Some say it's because of how relaxed he appears when he's playing, how comfortable he is in his defensive game and the offensive game. Look at the base right into the body. Strong start for Samsonov. Now, many players and table tennis fanatics around the world are aware of the Chinese dominance, how deep the roster runs, that in the Chinese Super League, it's the highest level of play. Look at this, Sean Quinn right into the middle, and Samsonov gets a forehand on it. I was going to tell you that based on his height, he covers the middle with the backhand so commonly, but here is staying loose and limber and able to get the forehand back into play. The backhand whip-like. Right now, the performance Samsonov is pulling off. It's only the first 6 points of the game, the first towel break, and only one of those 6 points has gone to Sean Quinn. But there is something to be said about experience at the international level. The top four, the big four from China, Ma Long, Fan Zhendong, Xu Xin, and Zhang Jike, in that order. A bit more experience against foreign styles. Oh my goodness, after all those lobs, a scooping shot from down low. Samsonov fearlessly tries to float it back on the table. Really testing Sean Quinn. Can't believe that Samsonov's so comfortable like a wall back there to get these vicious loops back time after time. That backhand is too strong, a solid reverse pendulum serve. Well placed, and Samsonov, not a bad receive. The forehand flip, but so quick. This is the pace of play that Sean Quinn is used to. When the ball comes in fast, he can counter it right off the bounce. It's actually one of many things that has made Sean Quinn so effective against Ma Long and Fan Zhendong in the last 2 years. Oh, touch from Samsonov, quick reaction time. The aggressive forehand and the block right back out wide. Surprise placement. Samsonov always mixing it up, just like on the serve. You'll see him move around on the table, not just where he hits the ball, but where he's hitting the ball from. And in the receive game as well. Going for the ripping backhand counter. Not making every shot, but still playing a high-risk game. Right now, the percentages are quite high for Samsonov, the second towel break. Opening backhand again, Samsonov keeping the lead 5 points here over Sean Quinn. Had a chance to talk to Sean Quinn yesterday. He said he's very excited. It's an honor to play the legend.
Net. 9-4.
Counter attacks, but this time hits the net and stays on Samsonov's side. Getting those shoes tied up again. Now, those shoes are quite memorable. That was at the Qatar Open in 2015, where he showed that he could handle. He was up to world-class level, takes the title. Will break off the top of the net. And now 5 game points for Samsonov over the giant slayer, Sean Quinn. Attempted inside-out spin on that forehand. Still 4 game points left for Samsonov to take the first in this best of 7.
Net. 10-6.
with a fast long serve, earns the forehand attack, but tries to change up the pace. 2 game points saved by Shang Quinn. That was Ma Junfeng in the corner for the Chinese player, Shang Quinn. There it is, served deep into the body on the backhand side. 11-7, 40-year-old Vladimir Samsonov of Belarus takes the first game over Chinese Shang Quinn, and we'll be back for game 2 right after this. Back for game number 2. Samsonov in black at the bottom of the screen, leading 1-0 over Shang Quinn of China. Wow, that is a lucky break for Samsonov. Top of the net and comes right back over. A lot of people ask what it is about Vladimir Samsonov that's made him able to stay in the game so long and be so effective. He seems very fluid, very loose, plays a relatively low-stress game considering the amount of power he's putting into the ball. That being said, on several occasions so far, in game 1 and even at the start here of game 2, he's gone for some big shots, gone for power in near the table. Ball will not come down. A little help off the top of the net. Shang Quinn quick to apologize. Wow, a hooking forehand there from Belarusian evergreen Vladimir Samsonov. We've seen a lot of reverse pendulum serves from Shang Quinn, and he's really digging deep to get that opening attack. Load it with spin. Wow, covering the body again, covering the middle with that forehand. It's very rare to see a coach in the corner for Samsonov. Special occasion here. This is respect to Shang Quinn. Your first time playing Samsonov, and he's got a coach in the corner. This isn't the World Championships. It's not like Belarus is constantly sending a coach for Vladi. Inside out forehand, testing Shang Quinn with the wide forehand shot. I started to touch on it earlier, how the big four from the Chinese national team have more experience playing European styles and international players. And that the variation in spin and pace is going to be to the advantage of Samsonov. Even at a more local level, many tournament players will know that when they've played some of the provincial players from China, that they're very strong over the table in the Chinese style. But if you mix it up, if you can change the pace a bit, they're not quite as familiar. The same can be said for players that play primarily in the Chinese Super League. Fastest pace of play when it comes to the different styles, the spin variation, a little bit more off the table European play. Almost recovers the top of the net ball. Sean Quinn a little bit of help there to slow down the ball. How deep on the table with topspin that ball is from Vladi. Heavy push right into the body. This is an unusual way to win points, but Samsonov, I mean, if you were to make a checklist of all the different ways he's won points so far in this match, it'd be a really, really broad list of categories. Clever idea, bring Sean Quinn in for the short forehand, hit it back into the body. Coach Ma Jun Feng doing multi-ball yesterday. Liang Jin Quinn, another up-and-coming player. I don't know if I should say another. Sean Quinn, 26 years old, told me recently that he's going to be getting married soon, and who knows what will happen career-wise. It's times like this that players look for a club to play for in Europe. Wow, what a recovery there. Anticipation. Samsonov knows the game so well. This is why he's able to get the around-the-net roller back from Robino and then still block that left-handed flat hit. As soon as he makes his shot, he starts moving to prepare for the next. Clever idea again. Samsonov with a positive head shake there. I think that's an important thing to do when you miss a shot, to still reward yourself for making the right decision, for not playing scared, but for playing smart. There are right ways to lose a point. Imagine if that receive that hit the top of the net didn't catch the edge of the racket, and that's just how much spin was on it. The testing serve wide and fast to the forehand. What gutsy play from Samsonov. Very awkward ball comes back. Samsonov trying to check the table to just sort of review what happened, make sure he understands. This is the sign of somebody who really knows the game well, and someone who wants to make sure that he knows it as well as possible for as long as he's playing. Something happens that he can't explain, he's going to look at it a little extra long and make sure that moving forward he's prepared. Heavy topspin, big point for Sean Quinn to step into the lead late in game two. Get all the spin on the ball, the side spin coming in, and Sean Quinn quickly converts it to heavy topspin. Wow, a big counter there from Sean Quinn. It looked like he was apologizing for maybe edge of the racket contact, but going bold. Deep push, ball comes back. Wow. Covering the body well. This is youth and agility and fast feet from Sean Quinn. In addition to core strength, anticipation, and everything else. Checking to make sure the ball's not broken. 2 game points for Sean Quinn. Focused right at the back of the table. Sean Quinn taking every shot and going for placement. Finally gets through Vladimir Samsonov. The tie at 1 game apiece. Will be back for game 3 to see who takes the lead right after this.
Kedves közönségük, a 2-es asztalon következik egy férfi negyeddöntő mérkőzés Sean Table Toulouse. Quarterfinal in men's singles category. Mérkőzés résztvevői from China, Kínából, Lin Gaoyuan. Ellenfele Koreából, from Korea, Yo Sayuk. Empires of the Game a mérkőzés vezetőbírái from Poland, Lengyelországból, Christian Csigon. És Szlovákiából, from Szlovékia, Valentin Klebec.
Back for game number 3, Samsonov clearing the nostrils to make sure that he's breathing smooth out here, getting all the oxygen he needs so that the muscles don't cramp and that he's smooth and fluid as usual. Responsible, taking care of himself. One nice thing about being on the world tour and seeing the professionals is the routines that they go through for warm up, warm down, stretching, whatever else they need to do to make sure that they're physically fit, top of the game. Wow, that backhand. The opening backhand from Samsonov, so whip-like. While physical strength is a big part of it, timing and knowing how to use your body, using all the parts of your body necessary to make these shots. Samsonov so clearly demonstrating with that backhand. And a solid receive, but a little bit of indecision, pressure by SHANG for the third ball. We've seen Samsonov handle more pressure though. Now this is more typical. SHANG playing the middle when he can get Samsonov to use the forehand from the middle right at the hip. It's going to be a little weaker shot. Samsonov's made it a few times already so far this match in game 1 from the middle. Solid shots down the line, the forehands of Samsonov. Well-placed serve, surprise, surprise, right into the body on the backhand corner. One of the many geniuses of Samsonov's game is that he can toss the ball and make the serve, and until the point of contact, things look almost exactly the same, leaving very little clue for the receiver as to what serve is going to come. That is one of the most aggressive forehand sort of fishing shots I've seen. Samsonov right at the baseline, and you can see by the time SHANG takes the shot, watch this. That's a low ball, very effortless for Samsonov, but it pushes SHANG away from the table. Little break off the edge there, similar shot. Now Samsonov is many things, fair play, humble. I was talking to him about it's pretty cool to be in the top 10 for 15 years straight. He's like, well, just sort of looked like, well, yeah, you know. I don't know, we all have our things. That was sort of what the look was. Yeah, we all, you know, have our strengths and weaknesses. 2 quick points in a row, though, for SHANG. Samsonov still with a 2-point lead. And you can feel the difference when Samsonov is playing Ma Long, Fan Jiandong. It's quite different than playing someone who's not used to his style at all. This match really could go either way. Well, Samsonov is the top seed in the tournament. The world rankings are not necessarily a direct correlation to skill level. Wow, that backhand once again over the table. Yeah, that's a puzzling shot right there. Ball sits up just a little bit high, and Samsonov quick to take advantage. A lot of people ask, are there advantages to being tall or disadvantages to being short in table tennis? One advantage of being tall is being able to get in over the table, that wingspan, the reach. Wow, another break for Samsonov. While he apologizes, he can't take it easy, still has to play every point.
6-8.
It's not the first time we've seen Samsonov a bit confused, a bit unhappy with the bounce. Could have something to do with the spin that Sean Quinn's putting on the ball. Conditions do vary from location to location. Table sponsors changing for tournaments. Very crisp forehand. Now you would expect that with Sean Quinn's loops, the loops that have beaten Ma Long and Fan Zhendong in the last 2 years, that it would give Samsonov more trouble than it did in game 1. Some trouble throughout. Brilliant counter from down low. Again, when you are taller, your center of gravity is a little bit higher, so it's tougher to stay low, but Samsonov quite low. The knees really bent for that shot. Even from back off the table, the ball drifting. I guess I should say jumping out to catch the edge of the racket for Samsonov. Gets the first one. A little bit more time here. One-point game. Samsonov with his second serve. The serve is very well executed, deep into the body, gets the forehand opening to go down the line. But again, the positive head shake. Samsonov is like, well, it's a good receive. Can't be unfortunate, or can't be too unhappy about making the right decision to try and go down the line. You know you're going to miss some shots. As a former world #1 and a legend of the sport, even Samsonov knows that it's part of the sport. You know, credit to the opponent. We're all human beings, can't be perfect. Opportunity there, but a difficult ball over the table. Samsonov trying to catch it before it drops. But it's a full stroke. This is not a flip. You'll see it one more time. Trying to go aggressively. But now Sean Quinn with a game point to go up 2-1. Oh, a beautiful receive, and Sean Quinn with a quick decision on the counter forehand attack to keep the pressure on Samsonov. Look at that hooking ball, and he's off balance, but the short stroke forehand loop. Sean Quinn, a brilliant play, and is now up 2-1. We'll be back for game 4 after this short break.
Bye.
Back for game number 4, Vladimir Samsonov of Belarus on screen against Sean Quinn of China in the bright orange at the top. Samsonov trailing 1-2. Now this is definitely the match to be watching, but a lot of exciting matches. So when the day's broadcast is over, make sure you go back to ITTF.com. Check out ITTV. You'll be able to watch the matches from tables 1 and 2 and even 1, 2, and 3 from days before today. All the live streaming matches. Change of pace from Vladdy. Spinny backhand a little bit slower. more arc on it too, but still deep on the table.
1, 2.
Clever idea, but the table just isn't wide enough for that shot.
3, 1.
Sean Quinn very focused to counter the spin. Samsonov gets the opening spin shot, has a clear swing at it. Many people have trouble counterattacking. A lot of pressure on Vladdy to keep the ball deep on the table in the fishing game. Sean Quinn has shown on many occasions, especially after game one, how much power he has and how difficult his loops are going to be to get back. Wow, and Sean Quinn back on his heels after that shot. Sounded like it hit the edge of the racket. Samsonov still gets it back. Got some Sean Quinn fans. Many fans from China flying around the world to see the World Tour. Actually, fans from Poland, all over Europe coming here. It's a good opportunity to see the players live. Quite an experience to see it live. Back edge of the table. Not back edge of the table. Thought maybe for a moment it clipped. Clever idea for the inside out forehand. The ball slips, just missing the contact. Wow, a punishing backhand after a soft fishing shot from the forehand side, and no nonsense backhand to take it. Look at that, so smooth. Talk about using everything together from the elbow, the shoulder, the waist, all the way down to that last wrist snap. Here's the fishing game. But again, trying to keep it deep on the table. Sean Quinn keeping the pressure on. That last ball you could see was just a little bit too shallow. Sean Quinn able to control. Samsonov knows he needs to keep it deep and overcompensates on the next ball. There it is. That's the shot that he wanted in the last game. Serves it long and deep into the backhand. A little bit off the top of the net, but still plays it parallel for the point. It's tricky when you decide to play a defensive shot at that point in the rally against Sean Quinn. You know you're going to have to quickly back up or make an impressive block or counter. Again, I asked Sean Quinn why he didn't get to play so much on the World Tour after beating Ma Long. He said, well, I'm not the decision maker. Should ask them. He said, but then again, as a 26-year-old in the Chinese national, on the Chinese national team, you're just a little bit toward the end of the rope. They're not investing in you quite as much. You've got players like Liang Jingquin, Fang Zhendong, but a few other young ones coming up. But no sign of slowing down yet from Ma Long, Xu Xin. And while Zhang Jike goes in and out of injury, still seems to be quite focused on his training, looking for opportunities to take titles still. So after a ball crack, they'll introduce another new one, hit a few shots with it just to make sure it plays all right. Both players agree, yep, everything seems good. Big point for Samsonov. He needs to take this game. After taking game one 11-7, and then having two close games, the last one, game 3, could have gone either way. Remember, this is the first time that either player has played against each other. Or against the other, I should say, maybe.
7-4.
It's the right decision from Samsonov. It's just a lot of pressure. Again, Sean Quinn's forehand. Thing is, once Samsonov backs off the table, he's going to deal with the forehand over and over from Sean Quinn. Against Ma Long, Sean Quinn quite quick with the backhand in the counter game. Credit to Sean Quinn for receiving that serve and taking control of the point. High toss serve, fast, deep out to the forehand. But again, Samsonov, while he's comfortable in the blocking game, sort of redirecting the ball, is going to have to find ways to initiate earlier in the point, put a bit more pressure on Sean Quinn. Because once Sean Quinn gets that opening attack, Samsonov finds himself backing off the table in a little bit more passive position. This is the pressure that he faces when playing some of the top Chinese players. You might recall recent matches against Xu Xin. Samsonov having a better record than most European players against any of the top Chinese. But right now, Sean Quinn with a chance to go up 3-1. He's got 3 game points. Not so quick. Samsonov saves one. Well placed right back into the body on the backhand side. Now this is more than a block. This is a short stroke forehand. Samsonov adding some topspin to the ball to accelerate it. Make sure that he keeps the pressure on. So now 2 serves for Vladi, and it looks like we're going to see a backhand serve. Difficult shot. Sean Quinn getting low for this ball. Takes the game 11 points to 8 for a 3-1 lead over the top seed. Vladimir Samsonov will be back game 5 coming up right after this.
Time.
Coming back for game number 5, there's Vladimir Samsonov, who took the first game 11-7, but then lost the next 3 as Sean Quinn started getting the forehand into play, initiating attacks earlier, countering well. Samsonov playing some high-risk shots in game 1, and everything for the most part seemed to be going in. Was making a very high percentage of some relatively low percentage shots.
Fifth game. SAMSONOV to serve. Bravo.
So we'll see what sort of pressure Vladi can bring here early in the point. It's one way to do it. Loads it with spin from the back of the table, but still not just spin, the placement, forcing Sean Quinn to change his footing. A little off balance, taking away and diffusing some of Sean Quinn's power.
1-4.
Now, one thing I can say about the Chinese national team and the whole program is the physical fitness is absolutely stellar. Their ability to get in over the table for the short game and still come back and get into the counter rally. If anyone wonders why physical fitness is so important, there shouldn't be much question about it watching Sean Quinn play.
1-2.
Samsonov quick to take advantage of the ball sitting just a little bit high. Now on a serve that sits high, if you can play the length of the table cross court like Samsonov did, it offers you a little bit more wiggle room, margin for error. Outstanding point. He does it once again on the receive, but Sean Quinn quick to adjust this time. Vladi really, when he's given the time here, has to keep the racket head up for short backstrokes in the counter loops.
4-1.
Score is similar to game one, but still, while an 11-point game is a shorter game than it used to be, it's still a ways to go.
2-4.
We've seen bigger leads taken away. Again, at the end of the day, once you've stopped watching the live TV broadcast, go back and check out Ju Se-hyuk versus Lin Gao-yuan,
2-5.
among other matches that are happening here today on Table 2. ITTF.com for all those videos. Samsonov keeping the side spin on and adding a little bit of his own, coming around the outside of the ball on that flick receive. Wow, focused again, but playing the length of the table for a difficult shot. So low to the net for Samsonov. Excellent touch in the receive game. Sean Quinn keeping it short. Now the speed, the footwork, and the core strength gets you in there so you can take the ball right off the bounce to keep it short.
4-6.
But this is one of the guessing games that the receiver has. Not committing early, but watching to make as quick of a decision as possible, as if you're going to need to get in over the table or stay at the back of the table to take advantage of a serve drifting long.
5-6.
That one drifts a little bit long. Samsonov's going to call a timeout here. Take a few moments in the corner with his coach. A well-placed serve. You can almost read the label on the ball there. Very little spin from Sean Quinn, starting off with a bit more backspin, but after the ball moving forward bites the table, it neutralizes the spin. And that's what a half-long serve is all about, making it uncomfortable for a player who's going to try and attack if they think the serve is drifting long. But if they play a push, that hesitation causes them to often play the ball later and deeper on the table, making it more likely for you to earn the third ball as the server. Samsonov, in all his years of experience, has raised two amazing children. He's got two boys in their teens. Him and his wife, extremely multilingual. 6 languages for Samsonov. And they're not all the same languages either. His wife speaks a bit of Mandarin. And still at age 40, Samsonov making viral videos and highlight points at the tournament. Outstanding shot from Sean Quinn down low with that backhand. Samsonov right out of the timeout plays a point well, but still not well enough to get the point. Now, if I remember correctly, when I asked Sean Quinn about his chance to play more on the World Tour, I said, well, maybe if you take the title here. If I remember correctly, he said no chance. But so far, he's showing that he has quite a chance to take out the top seed. But a big counter, the pressure comes back from Samsonov. See how fast the ball is spinning there. believe it was at the Olympic Games that it was measured. The rotation on the ball can be more than 60 rotations per second. Try to process that for a minute. A ball spinning 360 degrees, a full circle, 60 times in a second. Some heavy spin. And I can tell you from experience, receiving some of these serves from the players, the amount of spin that they can generate between the timing, the wrist strength, knowing how to contact it just right is just amazing how much spin they put on the ball. 4 straight points. Samsonov, right out of the timeout, loses the first point and comes back to win the next 4. Now has 4 game points. A little bit longer serve, trading the length for some spin. Sean Quinn with a good read, still gets the opening attack, saves 1 game point. Right idea, Samsonov's made this shot many times. 3rd towel break of the game, the Tai Chi master, Belarus's evergreen. Vladimir Samsonov still quite cool, deep in thought. Now this might have been implied by all the languages he speaks, but Samsonov is a very intelligent man. I was gonna say just like his wife, obviously a very intelligent woman, but his tactics out here, so clever. We'll see what he comes back with after this towel break. Back edge of the table for Sean Quinn. Samsonov has been given the Fair Play Award on 3 occasions. It was tough to tell. Samsonov said, no, I don't think so. Just sort of looked at him. Wow, very interesting end to game 5 here. Look at this one more time. Samsonov says no. I think it's a no. Again, he's been a very fair player and he's closer to the ball, more likely to be able to hear or see any change in trajectory. Could not see it in the replay. So game 5, Samsonov staying alive. Game 6, he'll be down 2-3 and we'll be back in just a little bit for game 6. Back for game number 6. Vladimir Samsonov taking game number 5 to stay alive here, down 2-3. Now just a little update. The coach in the corner for Vladimir Samsonov is Vladimir Vorobyev for Belarus. Thank you, Galia Dvorak, for that. Sean Quinn strong over the table. We've seen it before. Now with all the different variations that Samsonov has in his serve and receive game, keeping it mostly aggressive, he's going to have to try to vary up the placement, the trajectory of the ball a bit, the arc on it. Right idea, the soft receive, then the deep push for the spin shot. But Sean Quinn hasn't dropped a point yet at the start of this game. Takes both of his serves. Soft touch over the table. Samsonov with the opening backhand for the point. But it's a 3-shot combination. The serve, the forehand flip. A little bit of side spin from Sean Quinn. The ball bending back into the body of Samsonov. Now the difference in strokes between European strokes and Chinese strokes, the Europeans tend to have the elbow a little bit more bent, a little bit more of a full arm stroke than the Chinese players, which takes a different set of strength.
Got it.
And the chop block from Samsonov, no problem. Sean Quinn hangs in there, moves to the ball, and lifts it just right. There's the chop block, very short stroke. Sean Quinn getting the racket behind the head, Ma Lin style right there. Now, talked a little bit about the difference in strokes. The difference in equipment supports that. It'd be tough for a European player to switch to Chinese rubber mid-career. We've seen it with some of the top European players, but it is quite rare. Well placed again, some surprise on the flip. Sean Quinn saying, you gotta think, you gotta be ready to move. We know what Samsonov is capable of, but it's easy to say, right? You know that someone's capable of surprising you. There's gotta be a good term for a sentence like that, but how can you really be prepared for surprises knowing that this is what could happen? Spinny backhand from the middle of the table. Samsonov from all over the court, but as long as he's in near the table, when he's serving, he's in control. That's low to the table, half long. Low to the net, that is. Backhand strong again. Just thinking about the possibilities here and what it takes to earn your chance to represent your country when your country is China. Beating Ma Long in 2015 is not enough for Sean Quinn. So far in this tournament, beating Zhou Yu, beating Stefan Fagel. Ooh, the fishing game. This one's a little bit more shallow. Sean Quinn looking at the racket just to make sure. Sometimes if there's a wet mark on the ball and the server had wet the ball, you would replay the point, as it would be the fault of the server to dry the ball. Samsonov right back in this game, just 1 point down. The timeout on the side of Sean Quinn. Now again, talking about what it takes to earn a chance to play for your country, to play for China. Sean Quinn beating Stefan Fagel, that's something. I mean, Stefan Fagel beat Zhang Jike at the Polish Open in 2015 and came quite close to beating Fan Zhendong right after that. It was a very memorable match for me to commentate because game one, Stefan Fagel was down 10-0, a mercy point was given, and then he lost the next point. So an essentially basically an 11-0 win in game one for Fan Zhendong, and then the next two games, Stefan Fagel comes back to win. So you never know. We saw it 11-2 in the last match, Britt Erlen in game one, and then after that, the next three games go the other way. If you didn't see that one live, make sure you go back and watch. Quite an exciting match between Britt Erlen and Yang Shaoxin. I guess it wasn't 3 games in a row, it was 2 games in a row that Yang Shaoxin came back to win, and Britt Erlen with a very close victory in game 4. But either way, it's Samsonov here with the pressure on. Sean Quinn right out of the timeout, still leading by 1 point. Quality loop to the middle of the table. Samsonov not reading the bounce just right, but it's a high pressure counter to take. The ball did seem to stay quite low. Heavy topspin and no slide on the table. You get a chole from your coach. And the point, of course. Wow, this isn't the first time we've seen Samsonov win a point with a fishing shot a little bit more shallow on the table. In general, when you're fishing or playing any sort of topspin defense, you want to keep it as deep on the table as possible. But for Sean Quinn, expecting it at the baseline, reaching out in front, he's just a little bit out of position for that shot. Recovers one off the top of the net, but Samsonov can't get the next one back. Hitting the white at the top of the net, so close. And that viral video point with Quentin Robineau from day one of this tournament, he recovered a net ball, among others. Oh, the right idea, deep into the backhand corner, gets Sean Quinn off balance, but can't exploit the open forehand side of the table. Serve is just too good. Top side spin half long and low. The pressure is building here. It's still game 6, but Sean Quinn wants to get out now. Samsonov has to win this game to take it to a decider. It's a big point to do it on a 1-point game here on the receive. That is so fast. Samsonov, the big shot comes right back. Sean Quinn's backhand. Chinese Super League power out there. Really just way out in front, Sean Quinn. Keeping the racket closed. Still using the wrist for a little bit of topspin back. And at the third towel break of the game, it's 2 match points for the Giant Slayer, Sean Quinn. Oh, just missing the short side of the table. And the top seed, Vladimir Samsonov, is out. The Giant Slayer slays another giant. Sean Quinn will move on to the men's singles semifinals. What a performance to show that he is capable of handling the top non-Chinese talents in the world. Again, Vladimir Samsonov, world rank number 8. Sean Quinn was 56 in the world in October of 2015, the last time he had a world ranking. There are the scores on the screen. We'll be back after a little short break. We've got more women's and men's singles matches coming up. You're watching the 2017 Seamaster Hungarian Open.